It's all about power. Grabbing it, keeping it, using it. Power is our currency, our DNA, our God. We control the world. We provide the blueprint and we give the instructions. We're the people in grainy photos on grassy knolls. We're the shadowy faces in smoky back rooms and darkened boardrooms. We're right here, hiding in plain sight, buying and selling favors. Blackmail, treason, deceit, these are our stock in trade. We work the magic of the drunken evenings with senators and chiefs of staff. We shake down demons and negotiate with sorcerers. We have stocks in hell and compromising photos of angels. We use any means necessary, regardless of the cost, because the world is a bad place, and you can either do or get done. We're the Illuminati, and we're not done.
Heavily guarded perimeter around the site of last month's terrorist attack. The Japanese government has stated that an unidentified radical political group released a biological agent in the Tokyo subway, less than 1 kilometer from Orochi Town. Although the area has been evacuated, there have been eyewitness reports of activity inside the perimeter, including ongoing fighting between Orochi security personnel and armed civilians. Authorities are denying these reports, and the military has barred anyone from approaching within 100 meters of the temporary perimeter.
You will see the end of days. You will see the dawning of a new age. To be a monarch or a beggar. To lose everything or to become a god. To stand with us or against us. The choice is yours. Remember this.
The world trembles. You must learn or be swept away. Haste! The dead are rising to the siren song. Destroy them. Be mindful of the voices.
Listen to the voices
They
that
will
whisper
whisper
in your sleep.
You must learn focus and control. The Watchers will intervene only in dreams and only once. Revenants do not follow the call. They follow death. You cannot leave this place while it lives. Be agile. Be confident. Your life depends upon it. Fighting eternal darkness is a fool's errand. Wisdom is the light that drives the darkness away. The torch, child. We speak in metaphors because alien minds cannot decipher them. Your path will be equally puzzling, Wisdom must be your torch.
Even if this is
This is merely a dream.
They are the cats prowling at the walls of reality. You are the mouse. It is best to remain unseen. A clever mouse creeps carefully to avoid stepping on a trap. Where the cat walks, the clever mouse will walk unseen. A mouse cannot defeat a cat face to face. Talismans can protect you, strengthen you, and focus you. But they cannot save you. Nothing can save you, but the choice will set you free one way or another.
Hurry. We have no time to spare.
Shouldn't we consult the Council of Venice first?
Now is not the time for argument.
What was that? Something's coming out of the ground.
Go! Go now!
Don't hold anything back.
be mindful of the voices that
Be
they speak.
mindful of the voices
They speak the truth.
Somebody's been bad. I approve. Mind if I come in? Time is ticking, so I'll cut straight to the chase. I work in talent acquisition, specializing in a highly unconventional sector for a very particular client. And they're particularly interested in your kind of talent. Fucking stuff up, putting it back together, altering the fabric of space and time, basic thaumaturgy. My client is only interested in the best of the best. That's where I come in. Your talent is raw, but it's obvious. My client has the means to refine that talent and make the most of what you've got, and I'm not talking about money. Well, not just money. Protection, power, the best parties in the biz. We're prepared to give you a unique opportunity, a chance to prove you've got what it takes to hang with the big boys and girls, to rule the world. It's up to you to grab that opportunity by the balls. Based on what I've seen so far, you might be what I'm looking for, or you might end up dead. Time will tell. Tick tock. You have an appointment tomorrow in Brooklyn that I'd recommend you keep. There's no address. Consider this the commencement of your official interview. Find us, or we'll find you. My client has eyes everywhere. Don't be stupid. Later, Gator.
No. Too much visibility on the street. They're listening. They're always listening. That's why I keep the dryers running 24/7. They bug my phones, read my mail. They have this place on CCTV. Replace my girlfriend with an android. The Illuminati. I know you know. And they know I know. You know? Oh, you're wondering why they haven't disappeared me. Shut down my magazine? It's because I play smart. I play along. It's a game to them, you know? It's all just a game. Oh, hi, Leah. Don't worry, she's not one of them. She's in my D&D group. Role-playing is the only avenue to resist control. We do nothing they don't tell us to. They've been conditioning us in every kind of media for years, okay? Example, Pac-Man. That's how they see you. Just a little head, just a mind share. And you run through the mazes they built, sucking down their pills. The fruit, the forbidden wisdom of Eden, never enough. And you can't shake the fucking ghosts, right? I mean, they're watching you. Their eyes are always watching you, even beyond death. This all adds up. That's where you'll find the Illuminati, at the dark center. In the ghost house, in the labyrinth. It's right here. Just follow the yellow dot road. That's all I can say.
You know the drill. Run them through due diligence.
I'm on it. Please, no head trauma.
Someone ping Cassini to shut that fucking alarm off.
Say, have you ever seen a person void themselves from exposure to pink noise?
Get these two freaks out of here.
Hi. Have you ever seen a psychiatrist or taken psychedelic drugs? Whoa, don't freak out. You got a lot of narcosynthetics in your system to fast-track the rapport process. So make yourself comfortable before you lose motor function in your arms and legs. Is it safe? No, I'm just fucking with you. I'm a researcher. An experimental researcher.
Zern, my schedule is triple booked, so get started 10 minutes ago.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Geary. Management.
Still here.
Shit. Knew that. Wow. Illuminati. Always there. Okay. Today, we're going to be provoking your extra-human potential. Routine tests. Psychic driving, invasive procedures, auto-suggestion, and this is all going to happen while you're under a post-hypnosis role-playing scenario. I wouldn't worry about it. I'm going to play you a looped recording of the catastrophe in Tokyo. And then, with a little chemical assistance, your uninhibited neurons are going to work their crazy magic. I won't lie to you. This is going to be an intense, out-of-body experience. Wow! I'm pretty excited myself. And subject has left the building.
It's all shut down. Kite and show, everything.
From the park to Arachi Tower.
SDF quarantine. Good news for Tokyo, bad news for us.
I thought the dragons thrived on chaos.
Someone once told me the Illuminati had all the answers.
They're saying a bomb. It's never just a bomb.
Something worse. Something that brought the filth with it.
So we fight. That's what us Templars do.
I enjoy a good fight, it's just these trousers are bloody velvet.
Sarah! Thank Gaia!
Open the gates! No!
My God.
Watch out! How many have they got in there?
It's gone viral so fast. If this gets out into Tokyo...
It doesn't. We stop it here, whatever it takes.
Thanks for the encouragement, Alex.
Let's do this. Take it like all the other occult disasters, right?
We really have to stop meeting like this.
Don't let it get on you. Don't even breathe in.
It's reacting to us. Like it knows we're coming.
This stuff can't think. It's a cancer. Cancer doesn't know you're coming, it just is. New plan. Fight chaos with chaos. Keep the bastards at a distance, then take them out.
That's your plan?
Well, it's a plan.
You've got points, Sarah.
Incoming!
We're gonna need to use some heavier powers. Don't hold back, right?
I was pacing myself.
Listen, Sarah. You have to find Zuberi. We'll hold them here. Make a stand.
The cavalry has arrived. Even where the filth corrupts, Gaia's power endures. Take it into yourself. Breathe it out. Will this broken body mended? Good. But even Gaia will be tested by what is to come.
Making a stand? Wasn't working out.
Yeah, about that. This ain't looking much better, to be honest.
Now is not the time for argument.
Told you you'd say that.
Well done!
Something's coming out of the ground.
What the bloody hell is that thing?
Watch out!
The gate's opening! They're not stopping!
And they will not stop. This is all to hold us back.
Top marks for effort.
Someone has to push through. This confusion may be all the time we have.
Someone? Go! Go!
pineal gland. Overstimulated. Higher brain functions. Functioning. That is great work. Well above MK Ultra success rate. Hey, can I ask you, have you ever seen a jaguar tripping?
Zerd!
Well, yes. Look it up sometime. Hey, you better haul ass to the test chamber. Jump through a few hoops. Oh, and you may be feeling some discomfort from the microchip that I grafted to your spinal column. No worries, though. I mean, it's gonna fade, really. And as your doctor, I'd caution you, strongly caution you, don't try removing it, okay?
I fucking love old school hip-hop, don't you? Projecting indecision is a big no-no. Always smile. But this isn't another test. We don't do probation. You're either in or you're out. The Illuminati are very achievement-focused. It's like Xbox, only everything is hardcore. The ethic I really want to instill in you is to aim high and achieve even higher. It's not just in your best interest, it reflects on me, too, and that is super important. Make me look bad, I'll mount your head on my wall as an object lesson to the next fuck-up. God, it is so cute when you new guys think I'm kidding. Solomon Island. A little town and a preppy school with connections to us have kind of vanished off the coast of Maine. The people aren't a major deal. Do you know how many disappearances there are in the United States every year? We do. But our noses need to be totally clean on this one. The military are involved, and we have limited bandwidth to stall the shitheels at the DoD. Give an old dude a red button to press, it's like Viagra to them. I want you out on Solomon Island to assess the impact on our bottom line. You can skip the traffic and the quarantine by traveling through Agartha. Just use your initiative, but not too much initiative. That comes across as desperate. Ciao, ciao.
Hello? Yes? Now, this is the Hollow Earth, Agartha. I do hope you're not here for the local service. It's running somewhat tardy. And by my watch, it's 100 years overdue at 1:15. Judging from the cut of you, you're more of a world traveler. Well, you've come to the right place. This underground realm, like the great British rail system, is the very model of efficiency. Agartha's thoroughfares sprout from the Tree of Life and connect back to the surface. Distance and time bend in here. Why, you can cross the globe in a brisk walk. Now, of course, it's perfectly safe. No one's entirely sure how it works. Quite bedeviled, the science boffins, but I'm assured they have their top men on it. Top men. Now, you'll need one of these. Mind your fingers. Thank you. Fascinating devices. Fortunately, there's still enough to hand out like sweets. Consider it your anchor to the Hollow Earth. It can return you here in a flash, proverbially and quite literally. Well then, onwards to the New England coast, what?
Oh, don't worry, kid. You haven't gone back in time. I just happen to be the last of the cowboys. Got your southern welcome right here. Mesquite beans, Texas style. Good ought to face evil on a full stomach. Name's Boone. I'm a troubleshooter. You and I need to have a powwow before you go shooting for trouble. Illuminati may have legacy on Solomon Island, but you folks gave that up for the high life and the low road. Sure, you can be divided in purpose, but we gotta stand united against darkness. This ain't my first rodeo. I know we're gonna need all the unity we can get. Don't mean to say you stepped into hell, but when the wind blows west, you can just about smell the brimstone.
All we know is death and fog came from the sea, or someone brought it back with them. If I was a gambling man, I'd put money on that someone still being around. Bunch of survivors holed up in Kingsmouth Town. Follow that main road and the sound of gunfire, and you'll come to the sheriff's office. Kid, whatever your reasons for being here, you find out what those people died for, and you bring a reckoning. This forest crawls. Gets my fingers itching for two matters. One, the other, figuring out a way to keep them down. It ain't right the way the dead walk the earth. They deserve their 6 feet, same as everyone else. I've sworn to keeping guard here, and you've got places to be. Nothing's stopping you from culling the herd as you go. Hell, figure out what makes them tick and how to make that ticking stop, and I'll buy you a beer at the apocalypse. So go on, kid. Saddle up. The end of the world waits for no man.
Heck if I know where you folks keep coming from, but anyone who walks through that door alive pretty much gets my amnesty. Something in your past colors you sourly to a badge, I'd ask you to call it quits in return. We agreeable? Well then, I'm Sheriff Bannerman, and this down-home little state of emergency is what's left of my jurisdiction. Sure, we tried to hold as much of the town as we could at first, more out of nostalgia than any civil defense plan. I won't tell you Kingsmouth was a slice of heaven in a snow globe, but it was ours. Now it ain't. There was always something running under in this town. Maybe what's spilled out now. If that's how it works, I couldn't say hand on heart we didn't have it coming. But that fog, and the things in it, they didn't pick and choose when they came in. Most folks didn't stand a chance. Now, I can see you're armed. I won't kick up any fuss about that. Straight truth is, you'll need to be. Just don't go thinking that means you're deputized as such. Heaven knows if there was ever a time and a place for the right to bear 'em, you're looking at it. Henry has his word of God, that Roger woman has her crystal ball, and Norma out on the point's got a 12 gauge. My money's on Norma. Well, sure wasn't in our yearly budget to put the town under martial law. No, the good old boys on the council were all about thrifty spending, at least above the table. So I squirreled away where I could for some surveillance equipment. Police business, sure, let's call it civic awareness. I'm talking your webcams, your motion sensors. Oh, don't look so surprised. Kingsmouth might be out in the sticks, but we have electricity and everything. Running water in tourist season. Come back when this whole damn mess is blown over, I'll give you the tour far as the old lighthouse. But, to get to the point of it. Seems to me we should bring that gear out of mothballs and get it hooked up around town. Gives me some early warning and the others a break from my collection of Jeopardy reruns.
Jeez, you never saw anything like this in the cop shows. Well, maybe on cable, not the network ones. You wouldn't know it from looking out there, but before that wicked bad fog rolled in, Kingsmouth was a sleepy little burg. Nothing stronger on the streets than a hot cup of coffee and chocolate-glazed donuts from Susie's. The occasional DUI or domestic disturbance. Human sacrifice. But every town has a dark side, right? We sure are getting a heaped help in the darkness now, eh? The Walking Dead and worse besides taking over our town. Us survivors hold up in here, hoping it's all just a bad dream and we'll wake up to the smell of bacon and maple syrup. But unless someone ups and does something, and soon, all we're gonna wake up to is the smell of rotten flesh. And I don't need another thing to remind me of my dad. Halloween does bring back the memories, eh?
Yeah. You'd think these wet bits would just fizzle on the bonfire, but no. They sparkle like kindling wood. That's heartening. Geez, what a mess. Good thing I'm not particular. Now I'm used to getting my hands dirty. Fish guts, childbirth, sutures, the dead. Yeah, maybe I was born for this work. That don't sound right. Nobody's made for this ungodly work. Except maybe this old thing. So I kill and I chop and I burn, but there's more of them every day, and I feel like I'm pushing a very big stone up a very steep mountain, and it keeps rolling back down. What do you call that? Sisyphean? Or is that when you get a burning in your privates? My idea of culture is reruns of Cheers and, you know, not ancient Greek mythology. Well, the old gal ain't a proper match for everything that turns up on my doorstep. Seems she's too much for most of it. Spreads a bone of dead man's guts all over the place. Well, there's no time to gather it all up before we're right back up in the thick of it. And they never stop coming. They never stop coming. Well now, I'm not much fit for entertaining, but I reckon you ain't much in the mood for hospitality either, am I right? Oh, I'm not a big talker, eh? I'm used to that from a surly husband, and kids more comfortable with kicking a ball around than having a conversation with their ma. Name's Nama. Nama Creed. Raised a family up here before this dungeon thick fog came took 'em is my story. Helen sent you over to check on me, I reckon. Now, your concern is wicked kind, but I don't need any pitying. I got my shotgun, I got what's left of my wits. I'll manage. Now, this hullabaloo began after the Lady Margaret came back. My husband Larry, the others, we all thought that they'd gone missing out there, but the sea took them. They came back. Whole town could finally breathe again. But then came that fog, like it was following them back to shore. 'Twas right, said they, such birds to slay, that bring the fog and mist. Don't ask me where I got that from. Probably heard it on Oprah. Never got to ask Larry about what happened in those weeks they were gone. Been around gift horses long enough not to look him in the mouth. He was back. Thought life would go on the way life goes on, one day at a time. When the fog lifts enough to see the Lady Margaret laid up in the harbor, covered in that red seaweed, I always wonder if he'd still be here if I had.
I sense an alien presence. The fog obscures a terrible truth concealed behind a veil of... Sorry, old habits. Hey, just so you know, I don't do readings anymore. I've been outside. You don't need second sight to foretell our future. We're all doomed. It's not like I'm gonna need the money. It's strange, but it's the dreams that really get to me, not reality. I can handle reality, but those nightmares just... It's like a really annoying song that gets stuck in your head, repeating over and over and over again. The dreams are always about ravens. Thousands of ravens. Flapping wings, black feathers, dead eyes. Beaks and talons tearing and clawing and screeching. Wings of death and pestilence. A black, timeless malice covering Kingsmouth like a funeral shroud. You get the idea. I don't know what any of it means, but it's doing a number on my beauty sleep, I can tell you that.
Now, the Walking Dead? I can wrap my head around that. They're dead folk, Just walking is all. But those other things, tall and pale, slimy as maggots, they washed up with the fog. They came and dragged the townsfolk out to sea, drowned them. Just like my dad with the kittens. He took them out to sea in a garbage bag. Said they were gonna go for a swim. Said they needed the exercise. They never came back. A few years later, neither did my dad. Jeez, I still miss those kittens. The townsfolk, they did come back, dragging what looked like eggs. The big uns, they come out of those eggs, like something from Invasion of the Body Snatchers. They're littered all over the place and guarded, and I'm thinking to myself, Andy, that's gotta mean something. That's gotta be a clue. Why keep an eye on something if it ain't valuable? That's police work. That's deduction, plain and simple. So I'm thinking, what came first, the maggot or the egg? Obviously the egg, right?
Ain't this a heck of a thing? 3 years without firing a shot, other than putting down some animal got itself hit by a truck. These past nights, we've gone through bullets like candy at Halloween. I used that jail cell to dry out old paperwork mostly, or Bill Dexter when he'd had a bad one. Now I've got all these folks good as locked in here, and no sleeping it off for the morning either. The way things are headed, I'm seeing us outlasting our supplies. Not by much, if it comes to that. Andy finds what he can, but with the cruisers stuck propping up the barricade... So I'm obliged to anyone who'll poke around town a piece. Bring in the essentials. We can call it requisitioning. I don't think the store owners will be writing this one off as an act of God.
Promoted. Faction rank increased. Congratulations, rookie.
Kingsmouth is not a town without its blight, its fallow seasons. In times past, these lands have borne bad fruit. The demons are plucking forgotten apples that should have been left to rot on the boughs of Kingsmouth's tree, planted in unsanctified soil. By apples, I mean bodies. The tree represents, graves, and the unsanctified soil means, well, unsanctified soil. Unmarked graves. Mass graves. They operated with rationale, our illuminated ancestors. I'm sure of it. I mean, who am I to question these men of action? Those men of God. Even if they did stumble in their faith, well, that can happen to all of us. We forget to say grace. We lie. We cheat. We fornicate. We do worse. We have more immediate concerns than being ministers of past sins. What they're digging up is something that should remain buried, hidden from inquisitive eyes and wagging tongues. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Blessed are the meek, but doubly blessed are those who do the Lord's work boldly. It is through His grace that we find sanctuary in His house, when His house is besieged by zombies. Not to belittle the Lord's work, but perhaps the Illuminated Ones made this place a safe place through some conjuration of theirs. Blessed by the Lord, of course, or at the very least, tolerated. Whatever the providence of our sanctuary, it extends no further than the doorstep. Even the cemetery spills over with the devil's spawn. I've tried prayer, I've tried my 44, but Satan's wearing Kevlar, and Bible thumping just pisses them off. Kingsmouth is a book of secrets, an illuminated manuscript waiting for those who would read between the lines. I've seen it spelled out, the hidden truth of this blighted Garden of Eden. For are we not seekers of knowledge, you and I? Even a man of God can have his eyes open to further enlightenment and illumination. To be illuminated under the eye. The pyramid? The Illuminati. I'm with the Illuminati. I don't have a badge or anything like that. I'm what you might call a hobbyist member. But I earned it. I did extensive research on the net. The code words I followed led me to forums. Secret forums. Forums that don't show up on Google. And I'm an avid poster. A valued poster. I know there are paths in Kingsmouth not on any map. The work of the Illuminati is everywhere. A secret gospel, chapter and verse throughout the town. Signs and formulae. That's why you're here, isn't it? Now, my work is not exhaustive. There are elements of our grand plan I may have overlooked. Tiny, tiny details still left unexplored. I trust we have each other's disclosure. There's a glint to your eyes that I recognized from the bathroom mirror. You've walked Kingsmouth's secret trails, yes? What was it like? Was it illuminating? Were you enlightened? If it weren't for circumstance and my duty to the Lord, I would join you, document your expedition. Although, those are not the only paths. Some run deeper, more hidden. Tap your foot on any paving stone down Main Street, and you might hear the echo of Illuminati history. Oh yes, Solomon Priest and Isaac Fletcher put this soil to work when they raised Kingsmouth above and below. Why, the whole of Solomon County is positively riddled with tunnels. But I wouldn't expect most people to notice. They're too enclosed by their simple lives to comprehend the secret world around them, below them. You can't stop now. I know that feeling intimately. The desire to keep digging. That glint won't fade. The restlessness in your heart won't slow. The voices won't fall silent. Dig further. Dig deeper. Always deeper.
It's a pressure building, the kind that comes before a storm when it builds and builds but just won't break. Yeah, the Ravens, they feel it too. Last time I saw them like this, when the trees were more birds than branches, there were murders. Yeah, that was back in 2002, tail end of a long and wicked hot summer. By August, the whole town smelled rotten and we hadn't seen a drop of rain since June. When the storm finally broke and the Ravens flew, the killings stopped. Never believed what the paper wrote about that vagrant, neither did Helen, despite those boys in city council leaning on her. Well, she took a beating. Could have hurt her career, but she was right. Wasn't human hands cut those girls open. An unkindness of Ravens, isn't that what they call it? My idea of reading is the TV guide, not anything that could charitably be called literature. But even I know signs and portents when I see them.
Six for gold. Four for a boy. Three for a girl. One for sorrow. Seven for a secret, never to be told.
I'm looking for Jack the lad. You found him.
It was always about deception. The crystal ball, the gypsy clothes, the fake accent. Cheap props to make the fortune cookies easier to swallow. My customers, they bought into it because they wanted to. If there's no free will, if it's all about fate, life is a whole lot simpler. We can just say, hey, it was meant to be, and get on with it. That's the key to fortune telling. That's why people fall for it. We're all prisoners of our search for a higher meaning. It's all about mutual deception. I never believed I was telling people anything they didn't already know. Until now. I have waking dreams. Visions. I see auras. Auras! Yours, by the way, is bright enough to blind me. I see through the eyes of others. I can even see into the future, for real. The paths of fate, clear as day. It's almost like I've become who I've pretended to be all these years. Or maybe I'm just going crazy. I could be going crazy. I wouldn't blame myself if I was going, oh, great. Here we go again. I'm having another vision. They come and go like headaches. I can't really control them. Quick, before it passes. I see your twin paths. One leads to salvation, the other to defeat. I see black tendrils rising to embrace you. Voices whispering in your ear. Corruption from within and from without. Something rising from the bottomless deep to devour us all. To turn day into night. Sorry. I see something else. Our paths intertwine, converge, and at the end of it, Exodus. Inescapable, permanent, fated. On the tip of the pyramid, your path shall be revealed. That's as good as it's gonna get. Make of it what you will. Sometimes I get more visions, like the aftershocks of an earthquake. If that happens, I'll let you know. You won't even have to pay my usual fee. Let's call it a freebie, sweetie.
I had another vision. Shadows. Long shadows. From the old boughs of the fairy forest. The flickering lights of the foolish fire guiding your path. Come, come, they beckon. Does this make any sense to you? Guess what? More visions. This time there's bees. The incessant buzzing of bees. And flowers. Flowers blooming out of season. To mark the path ahead. They keep coming. The visions. It's exhausting. Now I see an angel. Guarding hollowed ground. Sword in hand. To ward off evil. And to guide the way. Better be the last one. It's terrifying. The cold, dead eyes of the innocent stare at you from the gallows. Their blank gaze a mirror to the past and the future.
Look on your face says even my good side is worse for wear. I've been trying not to think about changing. Like it could all be a bad dream I ain't woken up from. Nightmares. All nightmares. Since that storm blew us off course. Off the compass. Off the map. We didn't tell anyone about the shit we saw. About dead ships all caught up in red weed as far as you could see. About the things moving in the fog. In the water. About what we saw beneath it all. Deep into the abyss. Or what I found there. In that dungeon darkness. shone like a signal flare. Like something fallen down from heaven above, you understand? A blade made of pure light. A thing of terrible beauty. I could hear its siren song, just calling me. Last I remember was the Creed boys hollering as I took a hold of it. It took a hold of me. I wasn't strong enough, I know that now. They told me it pushed back the fog and the waves while I was out cold. Told me it saved us. Didn't save us. That thing brought the fog back to Kingsmouth. I brought the fog back to Kingsmouth. And I still hear that siren song. I know you hear it too. You could find it. You could stop that awful noise. Put that burning brightness back where it belongs. In the deep, in the dark. I wonder what would have happened if I never left that Red Sea. Maybe Joe Slater never did. And all this is just some pitch dark dreaming.
Finally silenced the incessant noise and moved it to a safer place.
So where...
Away from here. I'm not in a sharing mood, Cassandra, and the moaning isn't helping.
That's not what you said last night. Oh, baby, I thought we had something. Something magic. Black as space and red as blood.
This is so very far beyond you, little girl.
Fuck off. I've seen the beyond, and I'm a fast learner. I'm ready for more than this. Give me something. Let me in. Let me do what I'm good at.
What? Getting the boys to sign over their lives for a snog? I'll tell you what you can do. We're spreading an idea, but that idea won't take hold without carriers. You keep spreading those long legs of yours to recruit more foot soldiers.
Be still, my beating heart. Here's what I don't get, Beaumont. You have what you've been looking for. Your precious magic sword. You control the armies of the living dead. You pretty much own this island. So the question is, why the sour face? I mean, what is it that you're missing something, right? Now, this is interesting. Your treasure, your precious. You can't use it, can you? I mean, the spirit is willing, but the flesh... Oh my, the flesh is limp.
Watch it, little girl. You have no idea what...
What? What?
You want to know what this is really about, Cassie, dear, when it all comes down to it? Change. Evolution. A new dawn. The world tree will shake. The sun will turn black, and the gods themselves will fall. We are rebooting the world.
That's the thing, isn't it? What everyone talks about. It's the big headline. The dawning of a new age, right? Tokyo. The endless night. I like it. There's poetry to it. And oh, does it suit you, the evil sorcerer thing. It's sexy.
The answer is in the archives somewhere. It has to be. They knew about it, the gateway to the black heart of the island. I have the key, but That lock. That lock is the fucking thing.
Wait, didn't you say that the lock...
I've been around long enough to recognize the flavor of the day, Cassie. You're it.
Oh, really? So that's it. That's how you repay me, you piece of shit. No more. Take one last good look at what you're missing. Lover boy.
Useless bitch. The Illuminati. And their bloody labyrinths.
Our intrepid fucking hero. Pretty impressive stunt you pulled out there. I got my good eye on you. Hey, Cassie! This is the one.
Hey there, hot stuff. I like your style. And your weapon.
Cassandra is our resident Mary Magdalene. Don't let those doe eyes fool you. She'll eat you up.
I do have a big appetite. Comes with being Southern, I guess. Not that Jesus here would notice. He's immune to my female charms. Boy's got no spunk. Anyway, Che, I need to talk to you. There's an issue with, you know.
Who's doing the pickup?
I am.
And who else?
I'm going solo. I can handle myself just as well as...
Not gonna happen, babe. You could get your pretty little ass hurt bad out there.
Your concern is heartwarming, Jay. I'm sure it's got nothing to do with wanting to keep an eye on me.
Trust issues. Hey, feel like doing us a favor? Call it your ticket to a new Jerusalem when we finished building it.
If that's the kind of company you're talking about, well then, I might be flexible. Very, very flexible.
She's talking about sexual positions. That's what that little pause was. It's her idea of subtlety.
Fuck off. We could get to know each other better. I'd like to find out what lies beneath those still waters. Oh, and don't worry. It's not far. And we won't do anything you don't want to do. Okay with you, Jesus? There's a box over there somewhere. I've seen B use it. Controls the laser grids. If we could get that reactivated. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm gonna level with you. It's better for everyone if this package doesn't end up with those fucking morning light hippies. We're a different breed, you and I. We're better than they are. So let me take this with me and go through that door, and I will owe you a favor. A big one. Do we have a deal? I'm sorry, honey. I have to go. Believe me, I hate this as much as you do. We'll see each other again, when the both of us have grown a bit. I'd like that very much. Take care, okay? When I'm ready for you, you'll know where to find me. I promise.
Taking a break from saving the world, huh? I bet you've been out there punching darkness in the face and kicking evil in the, nuts. Or maybe you've been checking up on the MIBs? Come on. Dead guys followed by very much alive guys in black suits and black vans? Connect the dots. Anyway, that's what I've been doing. Connecting the dots. I rigged one of my RC planes with a wireless webcam. No biggie, super easy stuff. I already did it last year for, research. Not to get footage of Mr. Rosen, my math teacher, watering the flowers in his underpants so I could put it on YouTube. That wasn't me. Flying this thing is like air traffic control in Silent Hill. I pretty much have to rely on, like, the Force. And then every time I get over the edge of the MIB camp, wham, it goes dead, and it goes down. They got some kind of signal scrambling going on. Maybe even EMP? I'd so love to get my hands on that tech. Of course, I got, like, mad skills, so I manage to salvage the plane every time. But I have to keep pulling it out of trees and gluing bits back on. I'd really like to see what's going on inside that perimeter. Like Mr. Rosen used to say, try again, Dufresne. Of course he's a zombie now. Not that he's changed much. He's still Mr. Rosen, and he's still wearing those way too tight underpants.
Tango! Cash! Down, boys! I said down! Hush or you'll taste the stick. You know you will. Shut your pie holes, boys! We got ourselves visitors. Woo-hoo! And this one's breathing. Oh, yeah. Now that's more like it. Ooh, them mean some bitches. Sooner bite a chunk off your BUT as look at you. Watch as you don't make eye contact. Particularly with Cash there. That's the one right there. You don't much care for that. And he's the friendly one. Hey, Tango! Leave that arm alone. It's infected. Fucking dumb motherfucker. Jesus Christ on a bicycle. Fucker's got a taste for Frankies. Oh, dog's been keeping the yard clean. Goddamn Frankensteins get spooked by him. Those who don't get spooked, they get torn into tiny little pieces. Even I get sick of watching them go at it. And I've seen some sick shit in my life. But the boys, they can't get to all of them. Frankies and Smurfs keep popping up like bunny rabbits at Easter. Boom, boom, you know what I mean? You a dog person? Cats are good for nothing, except as yowling dish rags. You been a hero and all? I'm guessing it don't matter much. You ain't got a choice. You're here to fight Frankies and those mutant Smurfs, right? I even got some toys you can play with. Toys that go boom and splat. Don't ask me where I get them, because I won't tell you, and they ain't none of your business, you understand me? Look at that serious face on you. So now, maybe my boys can take a breather while I get some work done on the short bus from hell right here. We got ourselves a deal, hero. Mind you keep the noise down. Tango and Cash are the sensitive types, you know? But I reckon they'll be happy to pick through the pieces after. She's a real beauty, ain't she? All dressed up with nowhere to go. And she's getting restless. Hush now, baby girl. Hush now. We'll get you sorted, I promise. I know the look of someone who got no understanding of motors. Shit. That's all right. I ain't much good with people, but I'm a genius when it comes to automobiles. This fine lady, she's the only ticket off the island. Wait, did you think you could just walk everyone out of here? Across the bridge, and through the fog, back to Silly Vise Station? You think you're some kind of hero, don't you? That's funny. That's hilarious. That's pure comedy gold. You no more a hero than old Edgar here. You just got fancier moves and city smarts. Those smarts don't count for much under present circumstances. Now, I was getting close to finishing her up, putting the last few pieces in place, when those last few pieces just up and walked out on me. Couldn't believe my eyes. I seen some crazy things out here at night. Things with wings and tentacles and 1,000 screaming mouths. But I ain't never, and I said never, seen scrap metal just get up and stop walking. That's fucked up. You heard me. Fucked up. So it seems I can't get no further with the little lady here. Not as long as that transformator keeps rebuilding itself. So I'm stuck out here till the cows come home. And you've seen those cows with your own 2 eyes, haven't you? I have. Those cows, they ain't never coming home.
Hi. Hey. Hello. I know you. I mean, not you, the collective you. Whatever the collective is for superhero.
I'm starting to think they're doing this on purpose. Lost satellite signal again. Word is we're not going to see another one of our friendly neighborhood Spider-Men? Welcome to the party. Dig in. There's enough cake for everyone.
It's not sarcasm. He isn't capable of sarcasm.
Well, she's right. I'm Blake. This is my associate, Ms. Radcliffe. We represent an independent think tank, working with the CDC, troubleshooting agency, for particular kinds of trouble. Like Mount Vernon, Iowa last summer. You didn't hear about what happened there. That's my point. We're a long-term, goal-oriented organization. Our role here is to maintain a scientific overview of the situation, not to intervene. And that's what we've been doing. Not intervening. Maintaining a scientific overview of the situation, despite continuing setbacks that someone with a high-risk skill set might be better aligned to deal with.
He means you. And I'm sure I didn't need to say that bit. Those things, those monsters, they're tearing up our perimeter. I mean, actually tearing it up and carrying it off. This has the potential to be bad on so many levels.
On multiple levels.
A flight of superheroes? A fray?
We're done here. I'm familiar with that expression. It means the progress versus time graph for this operation is about to stop making us look good.
It's these abnormally deformed Condition 17s. Can we just start calling them zombies, sir? The autopsy shows muscle mass still expanding, new neural activity. I'm trying to isolate the chemical reactions, but in a soundbite. Zombies on PCP.
Humor me for the sake of our field report. The zombies, they are slabs of dead tissue. Ambulatory, cannibalistic, but dead. Inert. What's the stimulus?
My guess? An environmental trigger. See how they've been concentrated around this northern island? We need to contain this mutation. We need to get out there and—
Absolutely no field trips, Radcliffe. Safety first. We're just a science detail, and we're already closer than optimal survival distance to the occult epicenter on this one. Leave that to the red shirts.
Did you just drop a Star Trek reference, sir?
Whatever gave you that idea?
There's plenty of vacancies going, bud. It is the mother of all off-seasons. If you don't mind sleeping rough with the noisy neighbors in 13. Real hellraisers. Well, what's a guy gonna do, call the cops? You must be a riot at parties. Anyway, this is nothing. Nothing. I've covered wars, dirty wars, where crazy runs the show, waving guns up in my face. That place between bad and worse, that's where I belong. In the eye of the shitstorm, the misery and the carnage and time, all slow right down, and I can call it how it truly is. That's where I do my best work. That's where I'm king of the story, man. All demons and devils, not even bothering to wear our skin, whooping like a laugh track in an abattoir, and why not? I'm in on that joke. The best joke of all? We do this to ourselves, but they cannot fucking wait to show us how it's done properly. Wherever there's a critical mass of human tragedy, it's a big flashing "come on down" sign to them. Yeah, last one I saw went that away. Happy hunting.
Quick access inventory updated.
Oh, you're lucky Boone's been keeping tabs on you, and that I got here when I did. Don't go hunting lions with pea shooters. Know your prey. I've been waiting for something to happen out here. It's been in the earth, in the air. It's why Boone and me came out here even before the fog. There's power on Solomon Island, the kind that spreads. Filth. And it's waking up. My friend Jack is fond of saying he's seen the worst of what this world has to offer. But he's dead wrong. That was just the beginning. I always knew worse things were headed our way. And now they've arrived. The man you're chasing carries something powerful. And potentially dangerous. I'll do what I can to help, though I lack your particular talents. Hell, it took me 30 years of looking to learn how to cast a simple spell. Nope. I get too close to that artifact, it's a bad deal all around. I hear the whispers even now. And I don't have your natural defenses. I'm afraid of what it might do to me. Of what it might make me do to all of you. I've been doing some digging. As far as I can tell, this relic is what brought the fog here. Or at least what controls it. Whoever wields it holds the fate of Solomon Island in their hands. I can't tell you where that tunnel leads, but the Illuminati dug and dug deep when they ruled this island. It's a network that stretches from Kingsmouth in the east to the Academy in the west. I don't know where this tunnel leads, but it's somewhere west of here. When I was a kid, we built a treehouse out of scavenged wood. Lasted one long summer before the autumn winds blew it apart. Had time for my first kiss up there. Sweet as August apples. The fallen blossom never returns to the branch. But you only lose what you cling to. There's a treehouse north of here. Built to last decades, solid as the oak it's in. Kids who built it were part of a club. Called themselves the League of Monster Slayers, without a hint of irony. Because that's exactly what they were. See, the window between worlds has always been open a crack on this island. Things would sometimes slip through. Kids knew that. They feared it. But they still wanted to fight it. So they built the clubhouse as a lookout, a library, a base of operations. Been there for decades, Red tells me. Kids would grow into adults, pass the torch and the key to younger generations, so it went. The League abided, as did the treehouse. Until now. Forest around the treehouse is alive and deadly. I found out the hard way. Almost got myself killed. Seems the Akab are particularly fond of that spot. Or they want to keep us out. Perhaps the kids kept something in the treehouse. Something the moths are afraid of. I wouldn't underestimate the League. Before the mountain, and by the grace of nature, I was allowed to realize I am only a child. Club I was part of didn't fight monsters or practice magic. But we did practice other things that long, hot summer. All right, so mostly we just talked about it into the warm nights. But that was almost as sweet. Either you've chosen as bad a time as any for a long weekend upstate, or you're here to do a day's work in the name of whatever master holds your leash. In that case, you've come to the right place. But you're not the first to come looking. Hate to break it to you, my friend. We've had all sorts skulking about. Illuminati, Templars, Dragon, Phoenicians. It's like a gold rush. They smell power, and they want a piece of it. Fishermen, by a rocky shore, winds blowing wildly in a boat unmoored. Storm is coming. Boone and I, we've split the good work between us. He gets the cushy assignment up by the doorway, holding the hands of rookies. I get Deadwood here. He has a waterproof tent and hot food. I get dank cellars and animal crackers. At least I get to play with more than rotting corpses and pale ghouls. There are strange things going on down in that abandoned amusement park. And not just an old-fashioned haunting. It's an evil place. Born of an evil man, and the souls trapped inside are screaming to be let out. Heaven and hell are both in the hearts of men. But water too pure has no fish. We need evil for good to exist. My advice to you, keep your shoulders up and your weapon drawn. This is not a good place. And whatever hides here got a taste for life, for taking it and swallowing it. To know the road ahead, they say, ask those coming back. But if you come across bodies, there's really no need to ask. You'll know which road you're on. The key to long life is, apparently, to sit like a tortoise, walk like a pigeon, and sleep like a dog. I have trouble with the first two, but I can sleep through anything. Even here. Word travels fast in this place. And the word is you've met Jack-o'-lantern. I've seen him down near the rides, mostly at night. He's drawn to this place like the bear to the honey jar. He's got history with the farm before it got turned into an amusement park. Bad history. But I keep out of his way, and he keeps out of mine. My battle's not with Jack. He's all yours, Kimosabe. You'll, want to watch out for the will-o'-wisps. They're a good signpost you're getting close. That, and the pumpkins. After meeting the melon-headed freak face to vegetable, I lost my appetite for pumpkin pie. I just keep seeing an eye in there. I don't spook easy. I've spent nights in houses so filled with spirits I had to perform exorcisms to take a dump. But that burned house up there, the Black House, that place got me breaking out in goosebumps. Not spooked, not that, but affected. In a bad way. It's a cold place. Funny thing with that house, it wasn't haunted before the locals made it so. They were so afraid of witchcraft. They never gave a single thought to what witchcraft does and doesn't do. After the house burned down, they got far worse than magic to contend with. Anyone walked within 100 yards could feel it, like nails on a blackboard. You look for evil in people. Sooner or later, you'll find it. Even when it wasn't there in the first place. I'll see you soon.
Finally. Are you with Grayson Security? I've been trying to get a hold... No. You wouldn't happen to have a helicopter, would you? Of course not. This is private property, but I won't belabor the fact. I'm not particularly attached to it. Who in their right mind would want an abandoned amusement park on a godforsaken island in the Atlantic? Aside from Nathaniel Winter, of course. Yeah, that Nathaniel Winter. Millionaire. Mogul. Also, as it turns out, theme park tycoon. Nathaniel brought me up here during construction. And even then, there were accidents. Workers falling to their deaths. Equipment malfunctioning as soon as it was turned on. Strange whispers at night, according to the crew, coming from the rides themselves. But he was a stubborn son of a bitch, my father. The park opened against all odds right on schedule. Whole island showed up for the ribbon cutting. But the accidents continued. A roller coaster derailed, killing a family of 3. A 10-year-old kid was found, dismembered, behind the cotton candy stand. An employee in a chipmunk costume went berserk, stabbing 2 teenagers in the eye. By 1980, Nathaniel was forced to shut it all down. There were investigations. It was all over the papers. So he closed up shop. Stayed behind while my mother and I went back to Boston. Never saw the son of a bitch again. I remember Nathaniel telling me once, after the bumper cars crushed one of the engineers, that this was all par for the course. Great deeds require great sacrifice, he said. Next time I saw my father, he was in a casket. He outlived everyone and left me nothing of his fortune. Except, I don't want his money. And I didn't ask for the park, neither. All I want is answers. You can say a lot about Nathaniel Winter, but he never made a bad investment or a rash decision. So why in God's name did he build this park? I've heard them. At night. The rides? They do whisper. You're like a bad itch that can't be scratched. You know why I came up here? To sell it all off. The whole park. So that I wouldn't end up like my father. Stuck to this place. There's gravity here. I don't know who they are, but they have money. And ways to convince you that it would be in your best interest to sell. I didn't care. I didn't need to be blackmailed to sign a contract. What in the name of hell do I want an amusement park for? But now I couldn't imagine selling. It's got its claws in me like it had my father. And it won't let me go. It owns me. It feeds on me. There's no escaping gravity. Time I've invested in you, I figured you'd come up with something. But all you've given me is grief. And now they're coming for me. For whatever dark secrets this tomb holds. They're like you. Special. Part of another world. A secret world. Convinced they run the place. That the rest of us are just shadows. Even if I knew how to escape gravity, even if I wanted to, something tells me I shouldn't. I don't know what'll happen to this place. And the world, if I do.
Temporary abilities acquired.
"99 filthy undead on the wall. 99 filthy undead. If one of them filthy undead were to fall." 99 filthy undead on a wall. The movies lied. They can take one to the head and keep on ticking. The dead keep rising, the buzz fades. Every day it's the same thing. Drink, shoot, right, shoot, drink. Like a hamster on a wheel. Around and around we go. Do you ever do that? Keep going when it serves absolutely no purpose? When it's already clear you're not making any kind of difference? A reasonable man might say, this isn't working. I gotta change things up. He would do things differently, look for a way to break the cycle, find a way to give those things closure, instead of being stuck in this endless grind. But I write for a living. I make millions repeating myself. What's your excuse? You know, you're just like one of my characters. You love evil. You don't run from it. You don't try to avoid it. You welcome it. You crave it. You invite the pain and you cherish the suffering. You dive right into the filth and you make no attempt to wash it off. And when you finally climb back out, it doesn't matter how bad it smells, how the stench and the taint cling to you. You just can't wait to dive back in. Like a dope fiend hankering for a fix, you don't want it to ever end. You need it. Your entire identity, your raison d'etre, is at stake. Think about it. Who would you be? What would you be without this? Without your precious war on evil, without your secret world, your sacred brotherhoods, your ranks and titles and rituals, you'd be just another rat stuck in the race with a dead-end job, living for a paycheck and the weekends. One long booze-soaked downhill slide towards the dark and cold grave. But you probably believe in what you do. Believe it's right, that it's good. You soak in it so others don't have to. You take one for the team. You bend over and spread your legs and let the darkness inside. And somehow you justify it all with utilitarian pragmatism. You're a bona fide American hero. Get the hell out of here. Go find an abyss to jump into. Go soak yourself in filth. Maybe it'll be different this time. Maybe you'll save them all. Maybe you'll finally find some goddamn peace. Some closure. You're just like every single character I've ever written. Fucked from page one. We may curse heaven for our fate, but hell is a device of our own construction. The Ebony Tower, #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list, 5 weeks running. We are the architects of our own destiny. There's no innocence, only ignorance. Nobody could ever accuse me of empathy, of genuinely caring for people. In fact, they'd probably say that Sam Krieg is a cold son of a bitch. And they'd be right. People don't interest me. The acts of people, now those are intrinsically interesting. Particularly the consequences of those actions. Cause and effect, crime and punishment. It's every book I ever wrote and sold 1 million copies of. So what did the good folk of Kingsmouth do to deserve their fate? I tell you, they were evil. Kingsmouth, Solomon County, pure evil, all of it. Like a modern-day Sodom and Gomorrah. Always was. From the moment the pilgrims stepped off the boat and set forth on these shores. There's a dark rot festering behind the flower print veil of the Labor Day barbecues, homecoming parades, and maple syrup. I should know. The deeper I dug, the darker the hole, the more I found. A goddamn abyss of foreshadowing. I've seen evidence of acts so cruel and demented, so twisted and sick, right out there, that people might confuse them for one of my books. And if you've read any of them, and I'm sure you have, you'd know that this place has blood on its hands, and plenty of crime to its name. I'm sure you know this one. Show a gun on the mantelpiece in the first act. Before the curtain goes down, it's going to blow someone's scrotum off. Upon the wicked shall fall a rain of fire and brimstone.
Don't worry. You're not interrupting a parent-teacher evening or now. I'm the witch doctor in residence. It's my lot to teach the kids responsibility over the balance of life and death, given and taken. So this has really pissed the curriculum up a wall.
It is a great setback for us all. Loss of life among the faculty always brings up inconvenient questions.
I appreciate the pep talk, HJ.
The last time Mr. Montauk gave me a pep talk, I had nightmares for the rest of the semester.
Anyway, you may already have run into some of the students' familiars out there. They look a fright, but, well, think back to your first shop class projects and how they turned out. Without the kids around to control them, they're running wild. Eventually they'll go pure bonkers, and things here will go even more pear-shaped. I wish there was a cleaner way to contain them, but...
I recommend delivery of a swift, decapitating blow with a spade. A fire axe has a distressing tendency to rebound from the vertebrae.
From experience, aye?
A teacher is only as good as his tools.
Ah, you're trailing our mythical weapon of mass destruction then? Oh aye, educated guess.
They're not too late, right?
I pure hope not. I have a reputation to uphold as the only thing that's Scottish and dangerous on the island. I should have called in the cavalry as soon as it turned up, but honestly, it caught me with my metaphysical knickers down. I had no idea what it was.
It's not like it's your fault, Miss Usher. No one's ever removed anything from the academy before and gotten through the wards. In one piece.
That open day could have gone better. Anyway, I suspect whoever possesses the weapon lacks the knowledge required to use it, and they'll be looking for answers. The Illuminati built this place with secret passages and tunnels out the wazoo. Supposedly, all their records, covering centuries of occult lore, are kept in an archive, but the archive is hidden.
Wait, the one below the school?
Below the school? Oh, I pure hate it when I repeat things.
I kind of heard about this full-on Illuminati vault. Like, the seniors might have tried to crack the lock a few times, or something. You can see through the floorboards in the old block. I heard.
Ah, that Illuminati archive.
Tell me you're pulling my leg.
No. Well, I couldn't discount a manifestation of unconscious telekinesis.
Well then, there you are. The secret Illuminati archives. Lost to the ages.
Quick access inventory updated.
I've been in exile for a very long time. I was forced by false prophets to flee my homeland in disguise, degrade myself by pretending to be something I'm not, to be much less than I truly am. I spent a long time cursing my kind, planning my revenge and victorious return. Eventually, I got on with my life, and now, they're all dead and forgotten by those who once worshipped them. There's a lesson in there somewhere, I'm sure. Thing is, I'm ready to be myself once again. No more disguises. Their false prophecies perished with the White God. I'm free, and I don't plan on anything. or anyone changing that. It's beautiful, isn't it? And to think this thing was out there all along, while I wasted my time chasing a fucking hammer. I got what I came for, and I need to be moving on. Places to go, spells to cast, gods to wake. Spoiler alert, we'll fight, I'll win, you'll track me down again, just in time to watch your world tumble into chaos. Title scroll, lights come back up. Oh, wait, no, they won't. If I could kill you, I would. I really, really would. I don't like leaving matters unresolved. I do it cleanly and painlessly. None of the fancy stuff. I'm not that sort of villain. No stage magician. I take pride in my work. And I'm not afraid to get my hands filthy. But unless I grind you to a fine dust, the fucking bees will just whisk you away to safety. I've seen it happen enough times. I'll just make sure you're stuck here a while so that I can get on with things. Farewell.
At least the war golem's still in formaldehyde.
Huh. It's funny you should mention that.
Funny, comical, or funny peculiar?
I don't really understand the phrase. I was auditioning it for future personable conversation.
Mixed success, then.
We have all seen the reanimated corpses of recently deceased staff, felt pathos at those once great minds leaking from vacant orbits.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
I have also witnessed professors of an older vintage making their agonizing way through the halls. Historically, many faculty members were convinced to donate their mortal remains to the Academy ahead of their untimely deaths, for the betterment of knowledge. I believe their knowledge is now being perverted by some vandalous hand. One that plays them like fleshy puppets to access areas most forbidden. We possess an Illuminati war golem from the 1600s, purely for reference purposes. The school records of its last activation make for gruesome, albeit entertaining, reading. Such an activation would require a full faculty meeting.
So, this could get worse before it gets better?
Oh no. I shouldn't think it would get better. To teach the gifted is the highest form of our sciences and arts. Believe me, I have made exhaustive studies of them all. Necromancy is a dog and pony show. Demonology? Please. Leave bargaining with the hell dimensions to the chancers and masochists. Callimetry is brutish puppet work and recollects my days of medical practice. They were curtailed. But my humanistic focus was not shared by the founders of this grand institution, this great experiment. It has been said that there is a skeleton in every closet here at Innsmouth. That is simply not true. They were laid into the very foundation walls. The basement might bleed if you chipped beneath the plaster.
That's a figure of speech, right?
I'm sorry, Carter.
Oh my god, have you ever heard of a white lie?
The architecture was exacting. A pattern, a focus, a tomb, a battery. Stockpiling anima from many sources, not entirely willing sources. It would be politic to close the breaches before they emerge.
The first time you get bricked in's probably the worst time, eh?
From my research, it seems each time begins a claustrophobic eternity anew.
You're like the world's revenge on sarcasm. Do you know that?
Did you come for the library amnesty? Regrettably, our alumni schedule for the semester has been heavily impacted by the massacre. Slaughter is a crutch, an unfortunate crutch. I presided as Innsmouth's headmaster over a run of good form for 15 years. Naturally, there have been the usual accidents, maimings, well within accountable risks. As I would tell parents before I was retired from the Reparation Committee, you cannot vivisect a ghoul without breaking a few legs.
Ah, he's paraphrasing. Work with me here, HJ. Moving right along.
The wards of this school, hundreds of years old, are violated. It is unthinkable, but we handle the unthinkable every day. Now things are slipping through, both ways. I'm not sure which is worse for the general health of the island. A thorough investigation will follow as soon as we have appointed new staff and dissolved their predecessors' corpses. Yes, the immediate concern is that the wards must hold. The devices are hungry, rapacious for anima.
Great. We'll have a sacrificial donation drive. Or a bake sale.
Delightful. A wraith? That's improbable. They cannot manifest far from their wretched corpse. Only the Yazidi knew how to... Oh, the Yazidi. As a bookish child, I accidentally intoned a death curse that claimed my mother, our neighbors, and a passing couple in the street, though it spared their small russet dog. I was young and needed the knowledge. Carter, this is why I saw something of myself in you. A great and terrible power to be shaped with the care I never had.
That's not really encouraging, sir.
I assure you that your magic has almost certainly not caused any immediately fatal injuries. This loose end has become a hangman's noose. Exorcising the wraith calls for a ritual sacrifice. My ritual sacrifice.
No way.
No bloody way.
In fact, it is the only way. In the realm of the Peacock King, blood calls for blood. Such is the price of foolish magic. I should like that for my epitaph.
This isn't gonna happen, HJ. Obviously, I defer to your massive brain on most matters of the occult, but the only object lesson happening today is you learning about compromise.
That sounds painful.
Less painful than making a pentacle from your entrails.
You remembered the very book of curses. Truly a model student.
Quick access inventory updated.
A fringe benefit of my talents is a heightened sensitivity to the natural world, particularly when the unnatural puts the boot in. When the trouble started, some of the staff made a break for the river, trained magi who could take care of themselves. But something was waiting for them. Nothing natural. It's still out there. Carter and I have had the same dream, and it's a doozy. The harvest at Henderson's farm, swollen and churning with lava and disease. Like those dead, traumatizing time-lapse documentaries.
Ah, Archibald Henderson's murderous legacy. It is another weft in the fascinatingly grim weave of Solomon Island history.
There is a lot of seriously bad shite emitted from my copy of the school prospectus. A fringe benefit.
Initially. During his life. He was a magus, but at heart a simple farmer. likely barely able to comprehend, let alone control, his messy undoing.
I come from an agricultural family.
Yeah, my parents grow sunflowers.
I sense this situation is socially awkward.
Ach no, not more than usual, to be fair.
Hey, can I talk to you? Chosen one to, chosen one, about a big problem. Obviously not as big a problem as all the other big problems you guys are dealing with outside those walls. But still, help? Okay, so the practical alchemy class keeps racks of replacement familiars hung up in the basement. At least a dozen for every student. It's called practical alchemy for a reason. It's not as gross as it sounds. Okay, it pretty much is as gross as it sounds. Now they're waking up. A whole army of creepy dolls right under our feet. Miss Usher and Mr. Montauk want me on the bench for this game, and I know it's to keep their star player from getting injured mid-season. But it feels more like being in the penalty box. I want to step up to bat. I want to help out. I can use my powers. The really freaky ones. You know, they warded the school from the inside because of me. I'm tired of being scared of it, being made sick by it. Maybe that's how my powers want to be used. For me to just say the words and tear it all down. Look, if I set it off, I kinda need someone to make sure I can stop again. Like a chaperone. It's not quite the Halloween prom, but, well, that's where this all started. Worst prom night ever. Just so you know, things are about to get kind of gross. The whispering has stopped. My nosebleed too. We better get back. Let's make this our secret. Deal?
You know, kiddo, the thing about fishing...
Oh good, a metaphor. You might want to once in a while, just say what you want to say.
Well, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
A metaphor about why he speaks in metaphors. Nice.
See, the thing about fishing is you need the right bait and the right rod.
I thought the thing about fishing was patience. That's what you said last time.
Well, patience ain't pertinent to this particular metaphor, kiddo. We're not fishing for trout. We're fishing for shark. Shark that's likely to slither through the front door any minute.
Could you please just stop with the metaphors and tell us what the bait is in the story already?
Who? Not what. Your mother.
My mother? Mom's bait?
Like shark to blood, bad things are coming for her. It's instinct. They're drawn to her because of who she is and what she can do. They sense how important she is, and they want her gone.
This is about Grandpa again, isn't it? It's always about Grandpa.
It's not about him as much as what he left behind. My brother passed his gift on to Ami, and she'll pass it on to you.
Great. Mom's bait and we're stuck like lobsters in a trap. My head's hurting from all the metaphors. I need my life to be simple again. So, who's the fishing rod in this story?
Isn't that obvious? We got a few live ones out here besides us in the schoolhouse. Damn lucky. Or unlucky, depending on your point of view. Take Eleanor Franklin. Keeping to herself in that empty Addams family mansion for years, stewing on bad blood. Sure as hell doesn't like the sight of me and my kin. Or anyone else for that matter, unless it's a cat. Damn shame. I hear she was a ray of sunshine in her day. But most everyone involved with that mine never comes away quite right.
Your move, Uncle Red.
Soon enough. Did you protect your queen?
Maybe. Yes. I don't know. I moved the castle thing to D3.
Great move, if you're trying to kill your queen. Look at the whole board this time. You don't have to fight every single battle. Consider the end game. Be the player, not the piece.
How can I consider the endgame when I don't know what you're going to do? I'd have to be psychic. Can I just surrender already?
Hi there, I'm Red, your uncle. If we'd met, you'd know I don't stand for quitters. You always have to play it out, kiddo, even when you're losing, else you'll never learn. Besides, you can't tell when the Joker's going to show up.
I thought we were playing chess.
Kiddo, when you get to be my age, you're allowed to mix metaphors. Sometimes you just have to stall, stay on the defensive, and wait for that unexpected move that changes the whole board.
Sure, I guess. Whatever that means. Guy on horse to, F4?
Now you're cooking with gas, kiddo. You're wondering why all this evil came visiting us out here in the middle of nowhere. It sure ain't the climate. There's a local legend, and like most local legends, it's probably true, about a war between good and evil that took place on this island 1,000 years ago. Our tribe fought invaders from the south who tried to awaken the darkness that sleeps below our mountains. We fought bravely, but they were many and powerful, and we were close to defeat when
strangers from across the sea came to our aid. I've heard this story 1,000,000 times. Tall white gods bearing a magical sword. Why are the gods always white? And male?
Kyra.
What?
It's a valid question, and one you should definitely ask someone else some other time. The strangers brought a weapon, but they left us with powerful magic inscribed in stones. Your grandfather knew how this magic worked, but that knowledge died with him. Whatever the rest of the tribe knew, they did a hell of a job forgetting. The answer to how our ancestors fought the enemy could be in those stones.
We could certainly use a few gods on our side right about now.
They're here, Mom. At least they're not all white. Or male.
Kyra, did you do the dishes? Kyra!
What? Can't hear you, Mom.
Dishes.
Not yet. What's the hurry? It's not like we're having visitors. Ever again. Oh, visitors, cool. So, are you staying for dinner? There's rice and, stale bread, and the beef jerky my uncle made back in the 90s. He's never been able to sell it. Can't imagine why.
Kyra. I have to apologize for my daughter, but it's not an easy situation for any of us. We're all going a bit crazy in here. I always thought that if we protected the land, if we played our part and did our duty, the land would protect us. So either that was all bullshit, or we haven't held up our side of the bargain.
Yeah, if we could all just get along like a proper family instead of bickering about who said what to whom like 40 years ago, then maybe we wouldn't be stuck here with nothing to eat except canned meat and peas.
That's the price we pay for disunity and discord. But the land is strong and will fight back. Given a chance, we just need to harness that strength.
So what are you waiting for, Mom? Go out there and, harness. Beats sitting here eating baked beans. Oh yeah, there's also baked beans. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, and midnight snack. It's surprisingly awful.
It's not as simple as that, Kyra. I wish it were, but we're alone. I can't do this on my own. We need help. In the meantime, we have to care about the little things, like the chores. So will you please do the dishes?
Fine. Fine. If the monsters eat us, at least they'll be using clean plates.
memory, but memory recalls the path. I'm thought, he's memory. You can have that one for free. We laid our blades upon this far shore, exhausted, only to lift them against worshippers of a dark sun. We carved this story in stone, where it waits still to be read. Memory is a servant of those who prove worthy of thought. Hint, hint. From our frozen birthland, we crossed the white-capped sea to green isles of endless rain. This too we carved in stone. The wise men once asked of a king, who is the great one who grasps the earth, swallowing wood and water? Bad weather he dreads, wind but no man, and picks a fight with the sun. We carried a sword out from the lands of rain and gave thanks to the gods. All must pass before the gods. The same wise man asked the king, what beast is that which defends fighters? It bears a bloody back, but men it saves, meets spears, gives life to some, and lays itself inside a soldier's palm. In our long ships, we sighted where the dawn people and sun worshippers wore. We joined them, a hail of arrows sent before us to mark the path. Wise man king, you know the drill. The mind whacker, the word thwarter, the word upriser. They did not know Luke had walked among them. As he walks today, he fought at their side, but he is a trickster. Guided only by the rivalry with his brother, let the thunder god also guide you. The wise man asked, four hands, four strength, to point that way to ward off dogs. One dangles after and is always rather dirty. The game was done, this battle won. They had earned the wealth which was their reward, and only one place remained for them to go. Have you guessed? The wise man was the All-Father, the Wednesday man, the Raven God. In his honey dreaming, we shall carry him these new thoughts, these new memories. In time, they made to return to the land of snow, only to be taken by the sea where the Draugr drowned. This Lucan knew, so he did not sail. South he went to find the secrets of the dark sun.
Howdy, soldier. Christ, kid, I can see your lips moving. This is all Uncle Sam could muster up? You ought to know better than most that it's not about numbers. You got, well, what is it that you got? Magic wand? Voodoo? Well, we got guns. Guns with special bullets. Bullets that open you up from the inside out. Bullets that bring on pain and fire and darkness. Magic bullets straight out of the Pentagon's darkest dungeons.
Karen Olson, Department of Homeland Security. Hi there, how are you? Great, let's take a walk, shall we? We're, of course, extremely excited to have you guys on board. Extremely excited. United against, etc., an enemy of my enemy, and so on. Couldn't be happier. But we don't want to end up in a situation. We like to keep our cabalist relations civil. It can happen to the best of us, you know, combat situation, tense nerves, and bam! We have to deal with the trimensional rift, things oozing through, tentacles, that sort of thing. I just need to make absolutely sure that we're on the same page. We need to keep out of each other's ways, leave the war to the professionals, etc. I can't give you an order because, you know, obviously, but let's just say that any civilian interference to sanctioned military activities on this island will be treated as a very real and present threat to the security of our homeland. It could end up backfiring in a bad way when you don't have the authorization from Homeland Security to operate ab-grade military software on U.S. soil, even if it is in Maine. Oh, but I hear Egypt is really nice this time of year, and you know, we don't like to get involved over there, so it's all on you guys. Best of luck.
Our only line of defense is those filthy orangutans. Goddamn foul-smelling apes is what they are, and I'm not sure how long they'll last. But you know what they say, my enemy's enemy is my friend. Unfortunately, we got no lines of communication. We don't speak monkey. But I know you folks are in touch with Gaia.
Temporary abilities acquired.
You read all that crap about government cover-ups, conspiracies? Damn right it's a cover-up. We all had too much to lose if the world knew what was going on. You think vampires could bleed virgins if everyone decorated their homes with garlic? Shit, soldier, we had deals. Signed, sealed, and delivered. They don't apply anymore. From what I hear, Turvey's gone topsy all around the globe, from Wichita to Wallachia. And I'm not sure I like our odds this time.
Sir, excuse me for a second. May I? Thanks. Listen, the captain is old school, in a good way. Believes we're fighting the same war, you know, like World War Dos. But thing is, that's not how we operate. Not when it comes to matters of the extra-normal and paracult. We have to keep things on the QT. Sub Rosa. Fewer people in the know, fewer people know. And you should appreciate that, being part of the benevolent conspiracy.
The bugs are starting to gain the upper hand out here. Take away the queen bee, however, and they run around like headless chickens in a coop.
I understand that it may not look like we have the situation under control, or the right people for the job, but the whole island is under quarantine. On the other side of that fog, we have enough firepower to wipe the island clean. The infection will not spread. Believe me, we will do whatever it takes to stop the invasion right here. Whatever it takes.
We've got to use our superior training and skills to our advantage. We identify high-priority targets, and we weed them out one by one, leaving the chickens ripe for the plucking. I'll tell you one thing, kid. This isn't my first brush with the supernatural. Far from it. Our unit has seen some action. Johannesburg in '87, Siberia in '93, Rio in '08. Last month, we spent a good 4 days knee-deep in New Yorker excrement, hunting a flock of incubi that got separated from their mistress. They turned feral. Did you know that?
Yes,
They lose control. Used to be you could parley with the succubi, avoid too much bloodshed. The rules have changed. There's no negotiating with the enemy anymore.
And that's not what we're suggesting, sir, but I'm not sure that taking our limited resources into a mano-a-mano testosterone-fueled battle royale... This is not our brief. And I shouldn't have to remind you who's running the operation. Even if we can't get a signal through the fog, it's the Para Division...
I've got scars all over, and I'm not just talking about the ones that bleed. But if I've learned one thing in the past 40 years, it's that they bleed too. Every single one of them.
Yes, they do, sir, but so do we, and we bleed out a lot faster than they... Ugh! I don't even know why I fucking bother with this fucking... What the hell are you looking at?
These things just don't stop coming.
Everyone needs a break from the killing. There's no sports in it. And there's no end to it. We had a good little business going here, me and Paul. We were doing all right. But I guess when you bleed the land eventually bleeds you back.
That wave tin is some bullshit. It started a couple years back. Whitetail season had taken a dip. Hard to make ends meet. Then I picked up the trail of something else out there. Stranger game. Older game.
It came like some weird providence.
All the old stories come to life. It didn't cross my mind anyone would pay to bag themselves a Wendigo or Sasquatch, but I'm not the brains of this outfit. Turns out a lot of folks would, when you ask in the right places. Folks from out of state.
Business is a bit slow, so if you're staying around, it's open season on whatever's got no right to walk or crawl here.
Yeah, just don't get bit by anything. I hate to have to put you down. You got a quarter, Annie?
My turn, isn't it?
If you're going out to the coast, I'll give you some advice on the house.
Better listen up. My man here is not usually in the business of parting with anything for free.
She makes sure I get paid by the hour. Anyway, you'll want to be prepared. They're a territorial bunch, the Pale Men, and they rile up in packs. You've got to use the land to your advantage. Get in the hunt and turn their pack mentality against them, same as you would with any other beast. Even though they're sure not the same as any other beast.
I swear it's as if they can hear what's going on inside your head.
So I'm pretty safe around them. I made it through to the surf once and caught sight of something in the fog. If it wants to stay there, that suits me just fine. It was big.
Bigger than that Sasquatch last July?
Oh, hell yeah. He was 600 pounds, but mad with old age. Knew his time had come, and that's the way of things. But that creature out there doesn't play by any rules of nature. Birth, the middle of it, death. That thing has passed beyond death.
And way beyond our league.
I hear the serpent. He whispers. Don't listen to him. All lies. They bring darkness. The mountains are crumbling. The forests burning. The earth trembles. They are coming. Huh? Oh. Pardon me, I've been dozing off at all hours of the day. Good sleep hard to find for both the living and the dead. When we sleep, we dream. And when we dream, we speak with our ancestors. Our spirits connect with the spirits of those who came before us. But this leaves us vulnerable. Ever since they began working the quarry again, there have been nightmares. Someone or something has entered our dreams and causes us great unrest. There was a time when the webs of the dream catchers would hang outside every home. The webs would catch the dark dreams that can poison us in our sleep. They would protect us when we were at our most vulnerable. But our tribe has forgotten the ways of old. We no longer heed the warnings of those who came before. We no longer honor them. Our ancestors' dreams are being poisoned by the serpent that sleeps beneath the hills, and they in turn have brought those nightmares into our world. Their spirits are fearful, exiled from their sanctuary in the afterlife. They are doing the bidding of dark whispers, and they can no longer protect us when we slip into the dreaming, or when we're awake. We must help them. We must catch their dreams so that we can all sleep soundly again. Static. Just static. All day. No soaps, no sitcoms, not even a goddamn infomercial for spray-on hair. This is no way for an old man to live out his golden years. I heard you gave respite to some of our restless spirits. Did you bring me their dreams? Their dreams are tainted, tormented. Our ancestors are being fed lies and denied rest. They are led astray, brought into our world to fight for the very thing they swore to oppose, and they don't know it. The serpent that sleeps and dreams beneath the mountain is waking up. This is much, much worse than I feared. We must go to them. To the afterlife. The filth has infected their land, and though we can free those of our ancestors who have crossed over into our world, it will not end before the filth is removed from theirs. There is a dangerous ritual that can guide the living into the world of the dead. It requires preparation and courage, and those who make the journey are not certain to return. But it is the only way to stop this cycle before it is too late. Well, what are you waiting for? We're none of us getting any younger. Everything is ready. We can begin. I'm afraid you're going to have to inhale. Good. You're ready. Don't look at me. I don't know what's supposed to happen. Did you think you'd be whisked away to the afterlife through the magic of smoke? You've read too many comic books. Time runs short. Go. Find what you need to fight this evil, to free our ancestors, and to protect our dreams from the filth. I'll keep an eye on the TV. I'm sure there'll be something good on, sooner or later. Hello there.
So, you figure those Wendigo will be back? Gave him a solid whooping.
Course they will, genius. They ain't ever gonna stop hungering. Same as you ain't ever gonna stop whining. Should've believed old Joe's stories instead of laughing at him. We'd be better prepared for this horse shit.
Brother, you spent your life stinking up a lawn chair wearing an I believe I'll have another beer shirt. You want to lesson me on beliefs?
Oh, it's on now. You want to talk about the beer fridge, huh, brother?
Hey, those cans crossed the line. And as far as I can tell, they were fair game from the moment I...
You know the legends of the Wendigo from TV, right? They were our people once, but cast out after they ate skin to save their own.
Changed them. Made them less than human, eating the flesh of other humans. Much less. See, old Joe throws that tail in our faces enough. It's his favorite stick to poke a sleeping dog with.
Shit. It ain't like we ate the rest of our family.
Yeah, that gut's all beer and burgers. Look, those stories can go jump in the Miskatonic. There's no redemption. No happy ending for their tribes or ours. Just horror out there. Hunting us.
We're gonna show them we're off the menu. Indian style.
There's something odd going on here. I'm not talking about the fog or Bigfoot or those giant squid things. Did you see that creature with the lobster claws? I mean, holy crap. What is that? what's up with those claws? That's just weird. I'm just too weirded out to be scared. It's like a giant lobster man. It sounds scary. That's just freaky. No, I'm talking about the Irachi group. They're up to something. Doesn't it strike you a bit strange that they set up camp just days before the fog came? Convenient. When they shipped us in together with the group, we were the official first response unit. The Irachi guys didn't say one word to us, didn't even acknowledge us. I think they're using us as cover. Seriously, I'm part of a government cover-up. My dad is going to be so disappointed with me. Well, when my team was infected with the filth, did the group offer any help? They locked their gates and shut down the link. I tried calling home. You're on your own, Mary Ann. That's the only reply I get from Atlanta. Hold tight, sport. The president's counting on you. Really? The president? How dumb do you think I am? No. I don't think there'll be a medal waiting for me when I get home, if I get home. And I don't care. I'll be happy to just put my feet up and watch some TV. I don't want to be the kind of person the president has to count on in a situation like this. But I bet you guys do.
Gas leak has been neutralized. Gas leak detected. Laboratory atmosphere unstable. Evacuate laboratory immediately.
We have a host of employees. I can't know every one of them by name. I do, however, know that you are not one of them. These encoded transmissions you've been sending back to your little club. It's been educational. You forgot who owns the networks, who created the cryptography. You are trespassing. You are in violation of contracts signed in blood. You are breaking binding agreements made in Venice. The Council tends to frown upon such things. As do I. And I am both less forgiving than the Council, and much better armed. But I'm also a reasonable man. It doesn't have to become ugly. Shall I continue? This operation is officially a liability, and I am soon terminating it. But that leaves me with an embarrassing problem. And unless this problem is handled quickly and carefully, it will become your problem. This pertains to the containment of the so-called Subject Zero. You've already stolen enough sensitive information from me to appreciate what is involved. Deal with it. And we never had this conversation. Nor would you feel its repercussions. I truly couldn't make a fairer offer.
Hey, halt! No closer. I'm getting some weird readings. You might be infected. Everyone here might be infected. I'm with the CDC. I represent the government, so you have to listen to me. This is a quarantined area, and I have authority here. That's why I'm wearing the suit. That's what the suit means. It means the fecal matter has hit the fan, and we're staring Phase 7 dead in the eye. Frankly, if it didn't violate protocol, I could really use a hug. I feel very vulnerable, especially after the others were exposed. Terminally. They expired. Died. They died. Horribly. Cursing, screaming, gasping, vomiting, clawing their own eyes out. It was icky. And then, when it's finally over and they're all dead, you think, hey, that sucked, but it's done. They're gone. We can deal with that. But oh no. Rising from the dead, shambling ghouls, glowing eyes, tentacles, black slime. Not even your standard government-grade Category Z reanimated corpses. This is brand new terrifying. Run for the hills terrifying. Despite all that training, you just want to skedaddle. It started down in that bog, just before the fog came. We'd been shipped in to support the Irachi group, not the other way around. I thought with a Democrat in office we were past these kinds of dodgy arrangements. But I guess absolute power corrupts regardless. And absolutely. Just like this Category A agent, the filth. It corrupts absolutely. Body and soul. Yeah, the filth. That's what they call it, for real. How the hell do you work with a name like that, the filth? You're just asking for it. So if I were you, I'd keep my distance. Safety first.
We get by in peace and sadness, the ghosts and I. Like in an old folks' home, I suppose. We keep each other company. The ones up in the mine, that's a different story. A real horror story. They weren't just Ed's crew. They were our friends. My soirees were the talk at Kingsmouth. A touch of New York glamour to the sticks. That's why I had the pool dug, you know. And no, I don't mean the kind of party where you leave your keys in a bowl. I know they still linger and suffer. Must be lonely under those old, cold rocks. Back in the day, when I would still leave the house, I tried to silence those voices. I called every priest, every psychic and paranormal investigator in Maine, and not one of them stayed overnight. Even the Indians and that little Ami girl offered their native mumbo-jumbo. At the time, I thought, the nerve of it, considering the part they played in the whole mess. But I suppose they were only trying to help. Sometimes, when the wind comes, I hear those boys at the mine singing. I can never quite make out the words.
Been held under so long, I ain't even got the memory of the man I was. No loving memory. Would you look at that? One fine day that was. How you like it, Rigsby, you undead son of a bitch? Ain't no more Christmas where you're headed.
I could sure use the thought of a drink. It's dry on these rocks. Dry. Cold as the last frost. That's the stuff. Damn shame my courage died down here before I did.
Ed took the fall for Jimmy's temper. We all fell. Seems to me, you ought to square things up with Mr. Rigsby. Ed took the fall for Jimmy's temper. We all fell. Finish this for us.
No darkness reigns.
My husband told me to expect you, so I threw on the glad rags. I used to take any excuse to socialize. Do the best parties this backwards island has ever seen. But that coach turned into a pumpkin a long, long time ago. Now I just share this old pile with all my cats and all the ghosts. Even moved the furniture down to give them the run of the upstairs. And the view from those big windows. Oh, it was a peach of a view when I shared it with Ed. The peach trees are rotten through now. Things started changing with Ed back in that cold, cold summer of '71. Even before the ruckus with the Indians over that damned hole in the ground. Blue Ridge. Something happened up there. Started eating away at him, but he wouldn't admit to it. When he came home, if he came home at all, he shut himself in his study with all the books and maps. And he shut me out. And then there was the incident with the Indians. Ed didn't mean to kill anyone. It was self-defense, but he was tormented by it. He couldn't sleep. Suffered night terrors. He'd stay up, always scribbling in his books, on magazine covers, on the tablecloths, on the walls. I could hear this incessant scratching in the dead of night. After a while, I stopped asking him to come back to bed. I never did figure out where he kept all that writing. When his crew was found dead in the mine, it was the straw that broke the camel's neck, so to speak. I found him hanging in the attic. His face was the color of a ripe plum. But that's not how I remember him. Not how I want to remember him. He was a good man, my Ed. A good husband. A good friend. There's no shortage of secrets in this house, but Ed's lost his way. And his mind. Says he once knew how to put it all together. But he's just broken memories now. None of them good. Says the dreams came through and ate him up. And unless something is done, they'll eat us all. Says it's all in here somewhere, but he can't remember where.
Oh, thanks for letting me in. I couldn't have done it without you. I really couldn't. Please, I fought gods. Even in your deepest, wettest dreams, you are no god. I hope you appreciate the twist. I spent some time orchestrating it. I mean, it's what I'm known for, my long cons. They've written sagas about it. Maybe they'll write another one about this. But, you know, probably not. Your kind is always looking for villains. So much better to have someone to fight than face the reality of it. That what you're fighting isn't physical, it isn't even metaphysical. It's an idea made real. You can't shoot fireballs at an idea. Ideas are like viruses, invisible, all-pervasive, invincible. I was a convenient villain because I questioned their authority, questioned the very foundation of our society. They banished me because they feared me, feared my ideas. They feared what I could become, an end to their rule, a new beginning. But they made a terrible mistake by sending me away. I've been spreading the virus for a long, long time, and now the infection is complete. What is it they say? Dark days are coming, but no, they're right here. This, my silent friend, is an engine. Lovely, isn't it? It's not often you get to see one up close, or at all. The gods themselves would love to get their hands on one of these pretty things. They keep the world turning, quite literally. But they also do other things. You'll see what I mean. And Yggdrasil Yggdrasil shudders and groans. Here we go, All-Father. The final destiny of the gods. On my terms, not yours.
Mom! Mom! I think it's working!
Oh, I didn't actually expect that. I had thought you were dead. We got here as quickly as we could. I could feel the tremors inside my head. It's like I knew. It's all coming undone. For as long as I can remember, I've seen a great darkness on the horizon and thought to myself, I sure hope that great darkness doesn't blow up today. I'm pretty sure it just did.
So now what? We're gonna fight it. Right, Mom?
I don't think so.
Are you serious? What am I saying? You're always serious. But why? What's wrong?
Something has been displaced, or it's like a tapestry that's coming undone. I don't know how to explain it, and I certainly don't know how to fix it.
Somebody must know. We can't just sit back with a bag of popcorn and watch the end of the world pass us by.
What can I do? I don't know enough about this darkness. All I have are the voices in my head. Joseph would know. He was always the one who knew what had to be done, and I was the one who knew how to do it, even when I was a child.
Only one way to find out, isn't there? Let's go see old Joe.
You know we can't do that, Kyra. We haven't spoken in years. They just turn us away. Blood is thicker than water, and that's not always a good thing.
But it's family, and it's about saving the world, or at least this little piece of it. You're the one who keeps telling me that family's all we got, and we need to stick together through thick and thin. We're in the thick of it now, so you have to talk, and they have to listen.
But it's not just me and Joseph. It's Frank and Joe. It's the other people in the tribe. The wounds go all the way back to your grandfather's death, and they're too deep to mend. They're not going to listen, and they're not going to help. We've been neither a tribe nor a family for a very long time. We're on our own, Kyra.
Old people can be so stubborn, and yeah, that includes you, Mom. If you're not going to do anything, then someone needs to. Someone who doesn't give a crap about any of this stupid family stuff. Before it's too late.
I feel terrible for her, for what's happened to her family, to our entire tribe. I don't blame her for not trusting us anymore. It wasn't like that when Amir was born. We were a tribe. Her father was killed. Did you know that? He stood up for our beliefs. He tried to stop the miners from digging too deep. That was where it began. Some of the tribe, some of us, thought he was being unreasonable, that he was asking for trouble when he confronted the company, that blood would be shed. Him and his brother Red, they wouldn't listen. Said it was now or never, that the miners had to be stopped. Foreman put a bullet in his head, emptied his gun at the rest of us. He was screaming like a man possessed, like something had him, was inside him. His eyes were burning. His shadow was twisted. There were riots, senseless violence, arrests. Then came the storms. This island was ravaged for weeks. After it all quieted down, the rift in the tribe was too great. Some, too many, left. Others, like me and Red, we stayed behind, but it couldn't be mended. It's a terrible thing to have to choose between the people you love. But I was tired, and I wanted to look ahead, not back. And there was too much weight to carry. Too much darkness. That is how Ami grew up. in the shadow of a broken family, so I understand her better than she thinks. I took the wrong path, and now it might be too late, but we have to try. Ami is right. We must trust her instinct. Something in the land has been displaced. Something has been broken, an oath. If we had kept to our word, if we had maintained the wards that protect the mountain, this would not have happened. The wards were built by our forefathers and the visitors who helped fight the darkness the last time it fell upon us. Together, the two tribes created a seal that has protected us for generations. It has kept the darkness out, and it has kept the greater darkness locked in. We were chosen to protect and maintain it. 1,000 years the wards have lasted. Until now. We have failed. And now we have to mend what is broken. And like our forefathers, we cannot do it alone. All these wasted years.
We all played a part. We all made mistakes. The only thing that matters now is that we repair the damage we've caused before it destroys our chance for a future.
What? I thought we already fixed it. Well, not we as much as...
Your mother is right, Kyra. Yes, the wards are working again, for now, but the sanctum of the mountain has already been breached. The enemy must be confronted. Thanks to you, we have one last chance. With the wards repaired and our family reunited, we might have the strength to fight him. But we do need your help. We are mortals while you are so much more. The sword our enemy carries is both a weapon and a key, and the source of all his power. When you last confronted him, you were no match for him. This time, you will go with the power of all the ages. The wells of our forefathers have been filled, and you will drink from them.
Just think of it as an elixir. It's perfectly safe, I think.
We will channel the spirits of our ancestors to guide you, and the thunder of the gods from the north to still the black waters. You will wield this power, and the world will tremble beneath your feet. But be quick. Such magic won't last, and we only have one opportunity to right our wrongs. Both the people of the dawn and the people of tomorrow pray for your success.
Go team! Sorry, Mom, but it really was one of those go team moments.
Impossible!
Cassie, thank you, Mia. I knew you'd come through for me. There'll be a place at my table when I've taken back...
Come through for you. Do you have any idea who I am? Or who I am about to become?
Don't touch that! It's not for you. You have no fucking idea what you're messing with.
Funny. I was gonna tell you the same thing. I just hope you understand, Beaumont. It's not you. It's me.
Med Hassel og Bjåland. Skjerpene var urolige og snakket høyt.
It must be a memory.
Jeg legger denne journalen igjen ved teltene våre. Jeg tar med meg en annen inn i det ukjente. Om vi ikke kommer tilbake.
We can give you what you deserve. We can give you the world. Come, speak with us. Your potential is being wasted by your puppet masters. Your future holds so much promise. We are generous in giving to those who aspire to greatness.
Stop.
Don't let your talents be wasted. Don't accept any less than what you deserve. Look around. Witness the legacy of those who were brave and dared to dream. You can rise higher and reach further than they ever did, if you only accept our help and our gift to you. Some choose to be granted the gift of sight, to envision and recreate beauty. But beauty is hollow compared to true power. Some choose to be made into figureheads, pale shadows of those who walk the true and enlightened path alongside us. Become the one who pulls the strings, not the puppet on the throne. Some choose to be granted the gift of language, to use words to seduce and change the world. But true power cannot be contained by words, and true power can shape the world to your will. Some choose material wealth, mere shadows of true wealth, true power. You will have no need for paper and metal when you carry within you something much greater. Come, and we'll speak of your future. We are fascinated by you. We want to hear everything about you.
Gaia engine. I can't believe it.
Good, good.
Oh my god. That's Amundsen. That means Nicholas must be here somewhere.
The time has come to accept our gift to you. We can give you everything. The world. You only have to choose to accept it.
Get away from me! Get the hell away from me!
Good. You made the right choice. This is only your first step down a new path. We will give you all that you desire as long as you stay true to us.